Now we'll see what is Entity Framework Core. Entity Framework is ORM. It's mapping between database and in different our classes. And Entity Framework support the link. So we don't need to know SQL to create a request, SQL request. So with the link you can create SQL requests. So Entity Framework they do the traduction from the link to SQL database. And Entity Framework is cross-platform. You can use it in Windows, Mac, and Linux. And Entity Framework is open source. So if you go to GitHub, you can download the code source and you can check the code source and you can see the different features for Entity Framework. And Entity Framework support different databases like SQL Server, like Oracle, like MySQL, and also support no relational like MongoDB and like NoSQL database. And finally, Entity Framework Core, now it works only with code first. And later we will see what is code first. So Entity Framework, we have database and we have our application. Entity Framework is the bridge between our application and database. So for example, we have a class of our project library project. We have class book and we have the different property like the ID, the name, short description. With Entity Framework, they do the traduction for that and they will create a table with the book ID, the name and description. The book ID it will be the primary key. So Entity Framework, they do that. They do the traduction between our classes to a database and to create the table. So to add Entity Framework Core to our application, there is many steps. You have to respect these steps. The first, you need to create the domain classes. For example, for our project, we have class book and category. So the first, you create class book and category and the different property for this class. And the second step, you have to create the class database context. Database context is the bridge between database and our application. Is the bridge between database and our application. And we'll see how to create database context. And we'll do some configuration like to define the string connection to our database and to save or to register in the service in startup class. And you will see that in demo. And we have to install some package. So to use Entity Framework, you need some package. I will show you the different package to use Entity Framework Core. Now we'll create the real repository. So before we have created the mock repository. Now we'll create the real repository for real data in our database. So let's get started.